Dr. Pete, and welcome back. We're now in our second element of the 4 elements of the stress surfer, our emotions. And in this part of our program, we're going to spend some time understanding primary and secondary emotions and coping skills and problem-solving techniques, as well as touch on one of my favorite topics, relaxation, and 3 powerful relaxation strategies you can use to manage your emotions. We're going to stop on our second element now and have a look at emotions and how emotions can help us ride the waves of life without wiping out. In this section, we're going to have a look at the definition of emotions. Firstly, what are they and what are primary and secondary emotions? We're going to have a look at how you manage emotions to avoid those wipeouts when the waves of life hit and how to select the right approach. We'll spend some time on problem solving, coping skills, relaxation skills, and of course, focusing in on your current waves, plans you can use to manage your own emotions. Emotions defined. An emotion is an affective state or mood. It is not a thought or a mindset. There are 4 core emotions. Firstly, joy, our positive emotion, also described as happiness, satisfaction, fulfillment, contentment, or peace. The second of 4 core emotions is anger, which can also be described as frustration, dissatisfaction, disappointment, hatred, rage. The third of our 4 is fear, also described as terror, panic, or anxiousness. And our final core emotion is sadness, which can also be described as shame, hurt, or guilt. These 4 core emotions, joy, anger, fear, and sadness, are the basis for which all other emotions are experienced. And understanding these 4 core emotions and how you experience them is the foundation stone to be better at managing our emotions and in turn preventing wipeouts when the waves of life hit. Primary and secondary emotions. Once we understand how we experience those 4 core emotions, we also need to understand emotional events. Primary emotions are those in-the-moment emotional responses to a pleasant or unpleasant stimulus. They happen as a direct result of something that happens to us and affects us emotionally. Secondary emotions, though, are the emotional baggage that we create when our primary emotions aren't managed. When we suppress, ignore, or avoid those primary emotions we have, we create cycles of negative mood, previously discussed in understanding our stress response and wipeouts. In summary, primary emotions need to be understood and managed as they occur in order to prevent secondary emotions, which is emotional baggage. We need to effectively manage primary emotions, and there are 2 completely different approaches we need to consider depending on what the situation is. The first approach to managing those primary emotions is problem solving, and this is to help us manage our emotions by developing solutions for problems you can change. The other approach, which is for problems you can't change, is to use coping skills, and we're going to take some time now to understand each one. Before we do that though, I want to share with you something that is a mistake I've made over the years, but my patients and clients regularly make this mistake, and that's about choosing the right approach to the problems. Firstly, you need to ask yourself when you're feeling an emotional reaction, that primary emotion, is the problem behind this your problem? Sometimes we get upset about things and they're not even our problem. We see things on TV, we're in the shops and see something occur, and it's not directly related to us. If we're experiencing emotions about things that aren't our problem, we need to use coping skills. And as I said, we'll talk about those in just a minute. If what's going on is our problem, Then we need to ask ourselves the second question, which is, can I do something about it? Can I change it? If I can, I need to problem solve. And if I can't, I need to again use coping skills. Problem solving. To manage my emotions when there's a problem I'm experiencing that I can change, I need to problem solve. This is also known as taking a solution-focused approach. There are 6 steps to problem solving. Firstly, define the problem. Be specific about what is actually causing you to be emotionally upset. Secondly, list all the possible solutions to managing your emotions about this problem, even the bad ones. People often make mistakes at this point where they narrow down to only the immediate obvious things, and there's no innovation or creativity here. Sometimes thinking about even bad or somewhat magical solutions can still help you think more creatively about how to manage your emotions. Thirdly, assess each possible solution. Take some time to think about the pros and cons of each approach. Fourthly, select the best solution. The best solution may not be the fastest, cheapest, or even the least distressing solution. It'll be the one that's going to help you manage your emotions the best. The 5th step, plan how to implement that solution. Think about all the steps. Make sure all the right people are aware or available, the resources are there, the timing's right. Think about it before you act. And finally, the 6th step, once you've implemented the plan, review it, learn from it. What worked well? How are your emotions now? And what can you do differently next time? By using a problem-solving approach for problems you can change, you're able to take practical steps to make a difference. However, problem-solving where you cannot change what's causing your emotional upset can often make it worse. And as we said earlier, when you can't change the problem, you don't problem solve, you use coping skills. Coping skills are about how we manage our emotions when we can't change what's going on around us. There are 4 types to consider. Firstly, positive reappraisal. And what that really means is every cloud has a silver lining, thinking about the good things that are still intact in your life. Another form of coping skills for problems you can't solve is selective attention, healthy distraction, taking time to get busy doing other things and moving away from the thoughts or emotions or images, if it's the television, that gets you upset. Healthy distraction is not denial. Denial is a state where we're purposely avoiding things instead of actually starting to come to grips with them. Healthy distraction is where we're just pacing ourselves given we can't change what's going on around us. Another coping skill is about scheduling pleasant events, doing fun things, even when you may not feel like having fun. Keeping that going can be really important when you're managing negative emotions, as is seeking social support, talking to supportive friends and family. A word of warning about social support though, make sure you're able to talk to people who lower the amount of negative emotions you have. Sometimes we can talk to friends and family who are just as upset or more upset than us, and at the end of that interaction, we only feel worse. Now, regardless of whether you need to problem solve or use coping skills, the other thing you can do anytime and every time when it comes to managing emotions is relaxation strategies. Relaxation strategies reverse the fight-flight effect. The fight or flight effect, as we discussed earlier on about wipeouts and the stress response, is where our adrenaline glands put chemicals in and get us physically tense and worked up. Relaxation strategies change how we deal with this and dissipate or remove that negative tension and stress. There are 3 types of relaxation skills to use when managing your emotions: slow, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, that is relaxing all of the different muscle groups throughout my body, And finally, mindfulness, relaxation strategies to slow down your mind and feel a sense of peace and calmness instead of rushing thoughts. You can visit the stresssurfers.com website to get audio exercises to teach you these 3 relaxation skills. Managing emotions summary. To manage the second of our 4 elements, emotions, in summary, we need to remember that coping skills are the strategies we use to manage emotions during difficult situations we cannot change. Problem-solving strategies help us manage our emotions when there are problems we can change. And finally, relaxation skills help both our mind and body stay calm when we're managing our emotions. Exercise, emotions and your current wave. Take a moment to reconnect with the current wave of life you want to focus on. Write it down in your action plan. Now have a look at those 3 areas to manage your emotions: coping strategies, problem solving, and relaxation and mindfulness. You can see there unhealthy and healthy ways to implement those things. And over on the right-hand side, tick which box is relevant to you. Given your current wave of life, which ones do you need to be most aware of so you don't wipe out? Having identified the areas to manage your emotions, make a note on the bottom about something specific you want to remind yourself about so that you'll manage your emotions well and prevent a wipeout. How did you go with your exercise about managing emotions? What you'll see on the screen is the results of my exercises. I've done this course with you, and you can see that I've ticked coping strategies and relaxation and mindfulness as areas I need to focus on when I'm managing that current wave, which is missing my kids, a big wave. In preventing a wipeout, you can see that on the coping strategy side of things, I've used healthy distraction and avoid looking at the photo albums or memories if I'm feeling a bit sad or frustrated, and stay busy with work, exercise or friends as a healthy distraction when the kids aren't around. In terms of relaxation and mindfulness, you can see what I need to do is make sure I plan into my routine every evening some actual relaxation skills practice to make sure I sleep well and I stay focused and manage my emotions in the best way.